Well, for many, the holidays can be a joyful occasion, a time to reunite with family and friends, catch up, maybe share stories from years past.
Yeah, and at the same time, the holidays can be an emotional struggle, a time filled with heartache and depression. Experts say both are valid and are a real part of the holidays. There is a way to deal with them if you're feeling with the latter. Tatiana Cash is live this morning to talk about grief and gratitude. What are some tips to navigate for the
Well, Tim and Kaylee, when it comes to tips to make sure that everything kind of not necessarily flows smoothly, John L., but just kind of works, you've got some suggestions, especially when we talk about what exactly is gratitude.
Yeah, I think gratitude can be a great strategy for coping with grief and to be able to appreciate what has been received, but also appreciate your contributions to what was lost.
And I know in terms of there is a goal when it comes to your grief. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and so while holding both grief and gratitude, you want the goal not to be to hold the tension so tight that you're suppressing one over the other. You're trying to ignore and get rid of the emotion that's the most uncomfortable, but you want to acknowledge that you're experiencing both. And in that spirit of gratitude, you're able to appreciate your full humanity and walk forward.
So while acknowledging and appreciating your full self, sometimes it's hard because there's that guilt of wanting to just be peppy for the holidays. Because, if you bring folks down or if you bring yourself down, you're not a lot of fun to be around. So why is it okay, like you've been saying, to just live in your emotions? But I'm going to be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, I think it's important to share with the people that you love that want to support you that you're not feeling well enough to be all excited or joyful or participate in the festivities. But you want to be honest about how you're feeling. You don't want any incongruency on how you're expressing what you feel. So, the biggest step towards dealing with the grief is knowing exactly what state you're in, how sad you are the combinations of feeling excited and also feeling down is a thing that you need to express and acknowledge.
And then in terms of kind of how do we get through it? I know we said we can't rush through it, even though it's just I'd like to microwave it and be done with my emotions. How or what are some good tips that you would definitely suggest to navigate this, especially during this season?
Yeah, I think we have the tendency to memorialize the folks that we have lost, and I think that's great. We can also memorialize in action, and so that might mean some advocacy work towards a cause, but to take some of that control back that you've lost and being able to do something, paying it forward or moving forward for a cause and contributing to your legacy.
So getting out and doing something. Don't just sit at home if you don't, if you can.
Yeah. And recognizing that, taking small steps is okay. So you might not be able to go to a function, but you may be able to go out for a walk or see a friend one-on-one.
Janelle, thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Sure, thank you.
Of course. So again, it's about making that time to try and do something, but at the same time, being okay with not being okay, feeling those feelings.